wishes of your employees will fulfill your vision. So we want to make sure that these words become your reality, Petro-Canada. So my name is Joanne, and I have my colleagues, Danica and Amira, and we're Humanized Consulting. We put the human back into human resources. So let's dive into the mandate. So why are we here today? Well, we're here to provide an action plan that's going to recruit and retain Petro-Canada top talent. So 3 considerations that we consider. Well, first, you have to consider the restructuring plan. So restructuring is how can Petro-Canada define their plan in order to recruit their employees. So the second one is recruit. So how can you tell your recruitment process and get the top talent? And thirdly, you have the retain. So retain is how can you keep and make sure that your employees stay with you. So we have a recommendation, which is restructure. So you're going to review your job description and hiring platforms. Second, you have the recruit phase, which is you're going to review. So you're going to recruit. So you're going to recruit and get employees in different platforms. And thirdly, you have the retain. So how can you keep your employees to stay with you? So now I'm going to pass it on to Amira, and she's going to talk about the insights.
Thank you, Danica. So, meet Alex. First of all, how does Alex feel with the current structure? Currently, you have your store manager, and you have 6 GSAS, which are the current employees. But you have what we call a mystery guest that comes in and pitches, just asks a simple transaction for Alex, and Alex is evaluated based on his performance and will be accorded bonuses and possibility for career development later on. But due to this structure, Alex is really feeling stressed. What if Alex was sick that day? He couldn't perform well. And the managers are very overwhelmed because they're the ones that know your employees, but they're not the ones that give their recommendations about how much they could get or if they could get possibilities for their career advancement. Secondly, you have recruit. So currently you're using platforms like Kijiji and Facebook, but millennials are not really looking into Kijiji and Facebook as platforms, so that causes really a low you don't really receive a lot of CVs, and you don't really have a lot of candidates for the open positions. And you also have a bit of discrepancy when it comes to full-time and part-time positions. So in your current job descriptions on Kijiji, you have, let's say, full-time position, but it's really mainly targeted for part-timers, or part-time positions that are mainly targeted for full-timers. And you talk a lot about experience level, but in certain jobs you don't really require experience level. So Alex may be not very motivated to apply because he doesn't have that experience, even though you do provide training. And retain. So currently you have a retention ratio of between 100 turnover ratio of between 100 and 120%, which is pretty high, even though it's considered the average for the industry. So, for example, Alex, that's 16, he does want experience, he does want to have available flex time like you actually have, but he may not be considering this job for further purposes when he'll be at school. So it's really offering that career development for Alex, whether he's 16 or whether he's 21. And of course, I'm going to give you a summary of the insights, so where you are now and where you should be tomorrow. So currently, you have low employee retention. You have kind of a biased performance evaluation based on the mystery guests. And of course, you have bonus conditions that are based on performance with those mystery guests. Where you can be tomorrow is really attracting new hires with innovative methods. You can have fair and valued processes for performance evaluation and career development for your employees. And finally, you can have adapted compensation packages for those employees that will stay with you. What will happen if you do not change? So currently, yeah, you do have a lack of employees, but that does affect your productivity. You can't really meet all the clients that come in if you don't have Alex's at your branches. This will also, the fact that there isn't a lot of colleagues will increase your turnover ratio, because your Alexes would not want to stay working if they're alone. And that will, of course, increase the recruitment efforts, because you'll need more money and more time to engage new people. And that will, of course, increase costs, which can affect your bottom line production. So now, I'm going to pass that off to alternatives with John.
Thank you. So before coming into our recommendation, we thought about 3 alternatives that you guys can take. So the first one is you can hire a headhunter. So hire a headhunter that will help you with the recruitment efforts. However, the impact on Alex is that he doesn't understand what Petro-Canada is as an employer. He doesn't understand the brand image. So the second is you can focus solely on brand image. So that is putting all your efforts on social media. So that will increase your visibility. However, will Alex apply? So the third alternative that we thought of is that you can review your current recruitment and your retention methods. So how is that going to help? Well, Alex, he's going to apply, he's going to enjoy his job, and he's going to stay. So what do we decide to take? We decide that you guys should implement the review your current recruitment and as well as the retention methods. So moving on to the strategy. So our strategy is live by the leap. So how are we going to do that? That is 3 phases. So the first phase, you have the review. So you're going to review the job description as well as the hiring platforms. And then for the second phase, you have the recruit. So you're going to review the job description as well as review the job description. At the same time, you will figure out which platform is the best to take, and retention, you're going to make sure that your employees stay by figuring out better methods that you guys can implement. So for implementation at a glance, you have the review phase, which is 0 to 3 months. And after that, you have the recruitment phase that's 6 to 9 months. And lastly, you have the retain phase, which is 9 to 12 months. And then my colleague Danica will provide further explanation.
Thank you, Joanna. So quickly moving on to the review phase, which is the first aspect of our strategy. So really what we would want for you is to revise the current benefits that you offer your employees, whether they're full-time or part-time employees. So really we would want for you to provide that 15% discount for your part-time employees as well, simply because the majority of these employees are students and are millennials who enjoy having discounts when they go into your local stores. Secondly, we want for you to instill insurance packages based on part-time and full-time positions. So really tailoring the part-time packages, whether it be flex time as you already offer, and if you're able to provide incentives for them for scholarships, to provide a certain amount for school to pay their tuitions, that would be very beneficial for students as well. That would really incentivize for them to stay within your company. Full-time packages, we'll get into that later, but we'll really tailor this based on having pulse surveys. So what we would want for you is to implement pulse surveys for your employees to really understand how they're feeling about their current methods and current performance packages that they're receiving right now. Secondly, we would want for you to hire assistant managers. Most stores already do this, whether it's in the current industry that you're in or whether it's in the retail. For example, many stores have that assistant manager who will then be promoted to managers as well. So the idea here is to really have those GSAs become assistant managers, so really promote them within a couple of years once they've stayed within Petro-Canada, and then promote them to managers. So that's how we would like to target our strategy. So we would have an assistant manager in each store, and basically we want for them to alleviate any stressors for the managers as well. And then the full-time packages for the insurance would be for the assistant managers and the managers as well. So we want for you to really tailor that insurance program based on what your employees' needs are. And thirdly, we want for you to reevaluate your current performance evaluations. So as my colleague Amira mentioned, we have a mystery person coming into your stores pretending to be a client. as much as that's fun and dandy, it's not really fun for the employees because they're not really evaluated on a fair basis. So what we would want is to really instill those, to have clear goals for them. So really at the job descriptions before they hire, really understand what the job entails and list them out very clearly so that these goals and objectives for them on the job are clearly defined, and they'll know that they'll be evaluated on these bases as well. So ideally we would have these performance evaluations every 3 months, and again the bonus that you offer your employees, it won't be up to the mystery person, it will really be upon the manager's discretion at this point. So moving on to the recruit phase. So we're really, really, really excited to present to you our Live by the Life campaign, Live by the Leaf campaign for Petro Canada. So the idea here is that we would really want to instill 3-minute videos describing what it's like to work at Petro Canada. So for your recruitment aspect of it, we would want for you to pitch videos to these new potential candidates for you. So examples of these 3-minute videos would be a day in the life, aka the job description. So really showing them what it's like to work at Petro Canada. What is it like to be a cashier? We would also want for them to really embrace the values. What's it like working at Petro Canada? If I'm a female working at Petro Canada and I'm a cashier working a late night shift, I would like to know that I'm being safe, that Petro has put in these measures for me to feel safe in my working environment. Thirdly, we want for you to implement a new referral program. So this is called Working with a Buddy. So we would want for you, with these videos, we would like for you to show what it's like to work with a buddy. So at the same time, you're getting a 2-for-1 deal. You're recruiting applicants who have similar values and similar qualities to Alex, who is a candidate you are looking for. We want for you to show them what career mapping is like. So really having that one-on-one communication from the managers to the employees to really show them what it's like as soon as they start beginning the ropes at Petro Canada, as soon as they start as a GSA. What is it like? How do I get to a manager point? And even beyond that, if I'm someone who's graduating in accounting potentially, how will I make my way up into the accounting department? So really having those one-on-one conversations with managers will really take them at a long, will make them feel valued and heard realistically. And fourthly, we would want for you to implement our new iPad system, which I'll get into very shortly. So what we would want for you is to have a new applicant tracking system. This applicant tracking system will really replace the current platforms that you have, whether it be Kijiji, Indeed, which historically have cost a couple $1,000s from a corporate perspective. So really, the idea here is we really want to pitch a pilot ATS system. And this ATS system will be implemented in iPads. So we would want for you to have iPads at your gas station. So if I'm Alex and I'm 20 years old, I'm filling up my gas tank, I see the iPad and I say, click here, am I looking for a job? Yes, I'll click the iPad and it'll ask me a couple of questions just to screen whether I'm looking for full-time or part-time, what kind of schedules I'm looking for, and if I have the relevant customer service experience. So really, a few key questions to make sure that I'm qualified for the job. And as soon as I click continue, I'll have a face-to-face interview with the HR rep who will be at head office. And that interview could be merely a 5 to 10 minute quick interview on the spot as I'm filling up my gas, just to see if I fit with the company and if they're willing to offer me a first-time interview. So we're really excited for you to implement this in your new gas stations. Knowing millennials, they like a 2-for-1 deal and multitasking, so most people get bored when they're filling up their gas tank, so we would really want to implement that system for you. We would want for you to have an ATS simply because the tracking and monitoring of the data is a lot simpler. You don't have to go on different platforms such as Kijiji and Indeed. I know the struggles of working in HR and knowing when to switch on which platforms and how difficult it is to track employees and new candidates that way. Moving on to the retain phase. So how will you ensure that Petro Canada really remains the employer of choice for your current candidates? So really, we would like to focus on the onboarding aspect because onboarding is such an important aspect when you start your new job. So really provide the necessary training for them and make sure that they really value the core values of Petro-Canada, such as safety. So really, if the manager is keen on making Alex stay, so really have the manager show Alex how safety is an important thing at Petro-Canada. So the measures that you put in place, the security measures, the cameras that you place, whether you have visits from local security to really make sure that employees like Alex feel safe in their new job. And secondly, we would like to provide career mapping and review benefits. So for career mapping, you want, like as I mentioned, to really provide that one-on-one time with the employees, similar to a coaching process as well. For the review benefits, as I mentioned, we want for you to implement pulse surveys and really provide a tailored package for them. So what can you do tomorrow? We would really want for you to look into promoting your employees for the assistant manager positions. Secondly, you can start filming or think of the ideas of your new Live by the Leaf campaign. Thirdly, meet with finance to go over the review budget. As you will see, that this investment is quite heavy, but we believe that this is really beneficial for your company, especially if you want to recruit talented candidates and to make sure that they stay within the company and that they grow within the company as well. And fourthly, establish which source to install these fun and amazing iPads that we would like to implement. So now I'll pass it on to Joanne for the impacts and the close.
Thank you. So after this extensive implementation, this is what success looks like. Well, so currently you have 100 to 120% on turnover rate. However, by implementing our plan, you will have a turnover rate diminishing by 50%. And then as well as you want to know your employee engagement. Are they happy with where they are? So by measuring with the pulse survey, you're going to have an 85 net promoter score, which means 85% of people are willing to recommend your company to their friends. Thirdly, so we want to make sure that there's career advancement, so the people that stay with you at the beginning, they will be able to advance in their careers. So we want to make sure that they stay approximately at least 3 years in the same job function, and they can be promoted to manager or work at the corporate level. So risk and mitigation. So the first risk of our implementations, imagine we did all these efforts, however, we still have a low application rate. However, a way to mitigate that risk is really emphasizing the safety in our videos and in our lives, and letting women know that it's great to work at Petro-Canada and you are safe. So the second risk could be low application level. So low application level is if you put all your emphasis on social media, so let's say Instagram or Facebook, and that just increases your visibility, but are people applying? But that's okay because you guys ensured a job referral program. So if I work as a cashier at Petro-Canada and my friend is looking for a job, I will refer it to him. And that's just really like, as long as a lot of people are similar in the same job function, that will increase the number of applicants. And thirdly, imagine all this, that your student graduates after working with Petro-Canada for so long, they eventually leave. Well, that's not going to be a problem. Why? Because you guys do offer career advancement, and then he or she, perhaps studying accounting, will decide to work at the corporate level in accounting. Perfect. So moving on to financials, my colleague Amira will tell you how much this investment will cost.
So this is an investment that is a $1 million solution that's going to only cost you $500,000. It may look like it's a big budget, but it's really nothing compared to all the savings that your company is going to be making in the further years. I'll be gladly to talk about all the detailed financials in the Q&A.
So why are we here today? Well, we were here because we wanted to provide a strategic plan for the recruits and the retention plan for ARLs, managers, and GSAs. So we did that with the restructure phase, and as well as we did that with the recruit and retain. So for the restructure phase, we review the job We review the job description and the hiring plan, and as well as recruit, we figure out the new platforms that we could take. And lastly, retain. We want to make sure how we can increase our retain our employees. Thank you so much.
Now it's your question.
A couple of questions for you. I understand the mystery gas, but just curious, that's my way to validate the quality of my service at my store. What do you suggest we should use? What would be a different tool I could use to try to measure what the quality of the service of my gas station to replace the mystery gas?
Okay. Well, simply you could have your managers evaluate your your employees. So if your managers, they come up with objectives that you want your employees to reach, that's a different way you can do that.
Okay, good. On the bonus based on performance, how do you see this bonus to be set up? What kind of performance I should measure? Just curious to see. We have something in place, but I want to see what you see on your side.
So it's really a lot about customer service, but also if you come and work on time, if you're very implicated, if you do the tasks that you do every day, you offer to help your manager, you clean up after your work shift. So it's a lot of small little things that overall show how you are as an employee.
Okay. Then what's one? Oh yeah, the job description. What should I do with my job description? What's missing or what maybe it's too much? Just curious to see what you've seen and how you see we could improve it.
Yes, of course. So really, as I mentioned earlier, we want for you to have tailored job descriptions based on the position and really show what it's like to work day in the life. So what kind of skills do you need? So you would portray this through a video. Let's be realistic, a lot of people have a short attention span and don't want to read. Although your descriptions are very short, as mentioned in the case, we believe that really setting the clear, defined objectives and goals will really assure that you attract the proper candidates who really have the same core values as you do.